Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. There was no smut on my grip. Last time that I checked, I was selling zones in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat.
OuttaPocketLive, bitch. Shane, Jigga. Yeah. Hey. Thank you for tuning into OuttaPocketLive. My name is Jeremy, owner of Travis Barbershop. Call me Worm, Glowworm, G, whatever you want to call it. Brought to you by All Out Foul. Shout out to Big Luna, Brandon. Shout out to Uncle BJ. Where is he walking the kids right now? And these two need no introduction. These are two of my favorite people in the world. I have a lot of favorite people, but these two are definitely them. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Shane, Nesbitt, and Jigga. OuttaPocketLive. So we're going to start off. What are we going to talk about?
Like I said, you're going to lead the way.
Lead the way.
I'm just going to follow suit.
But I am happy to be a part of you guys' lives. I went to both of you guys' weddings. It was great. Was it good?
One did good. One lasted.
Yeah.
Yay.
Shit. Jigga's wedding was dope too, right?
Yeah.
Dope, right?
Dick. Too soon, dude.
You're out of pocket, bro.
It's funny because, dude,
worst friend ever.
Jigga's speech, it was short and sweet. But I'll never forget this because everybody that Jigga invited to the wedding came. And he said this. Everybody came except for one dude.
Fuck.
I
had a feeling this day was going to come.
We're like, I was like, you told him, Shane.
On the same note, let's go ahead and revert back to 2 weeks ago. Let's revert back to 2 weeks ago, or whenever my grand opening party was, when I addressed Jigga and was like, I apologize for being a lackluster friend. Like, through and through. I missed several events. There's no excuse. Excuse is only excuse, and I'm not an excuser, so... all I can do is apologize. I was suffering from some shit with my back, but it's neither here nor there. I'm here now, and I'm here to get smacked on, and I'm here to do some smacking. So,
how is your back doing, anyways?
It's a struggle every day. It's crazy. That whole surgery was super intense, and I'm just fortunate to be walking. But I don't take that for granted. But I definitely could live without the rest of the shit. Nerve damage and all that, which is something that I'd like to touch on today to help the younger barbers take better care of themselves.
Definitely, one that hurts every day. That's why when I heard about that, I was like, Shane has to get surgery in fucking wherever.
Germany.
And was that Steve Kerr's doctor or something along the lines? Somebody big in the field, right?
Yeah, the dude that did my surgery. Is kind of like the Michael Jordan of back surgeries, and he apparently helped, had something to do with Steve Kerr's revitalization, I guess. But my surgery was super crazy, and it's had a lot of. I'm fortunate to be walking, but it's had a lot of negative stuff. I overworked myself.
I was laughing at you the whole time, dude, when that happened, because I was like, dude, you're a fucking idiot for that. Yeah. But at the same time, I respect it because you put your body, you beat your body up.
Well, the way this guy works is fucking, your back gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You come to work at 3 a.m. and work a 12-hour day and maybe even more.
Yeah.
Actually, man.
I remember when I was working with you guys, Jeremy always talking shit like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Dude? You've been here since 5 a.m. You'll be here till 10 at. And I was like, it's gonna pay off. And then I end up in the hospital in Germany, high on morphine, reflecting on all the shit that he was yelling at me about.
Yeah, but I respect that shit.
I respect it a lot because it kind of set the standard of what the zoo does and how we get down. Like, I mean, I get in at 6:30, 7, leave at 6:30, and that comes from Shane. My work ethic.
You always had that though.
Yeah, I know, but it was like it got better because of you. Like we started this game not knowing shit. We didn't know if we were doing things right, if we were doing things wrong. We just did what we felt like what we had to do to be successful.
Yeah, we were just kids.
Yeah, we were in the game. Yeah, hell yeah. But Shane definitely put the work ethic in me, and I follow his lead, and hey, look where we at now.
It's fucking crazy, dude. I think a lot about the the early days of the zoo and what it took to get that shop off the ground, and then after that the headshots thing, and then soon thereafter realizing what I wanted to do with the Shane's brand. But I was fortunate because you guys had the work ethic. It just was like trying to figure out direction, like sorting out direction, what we needed to do to stand out. And I think that I can safely say that there's very few people that worked as hard as you guys. And ultimately, like, if I was a better leader, I take a little bit of ownership in the fact that I think that I was a little bit lackluster or haphazard as far as leading goes. Now,
dude, you know what? I laugh about the, when I call you stressed out.
Yeah.
I used to talk a little shit about, we used to ask Shane, like, dude, why are you so stressed out? Why do you look like, dude, relax.
Yeah, like.
And then now it's like, damn, dude, you were right the whole time.
That's why.
You were like, Jerm, I told you. I told you, Jerm.
Well, because there's got to be like a standard, and we're in such an oversaturated industry. Like, Juan has to hear it, dude. I mean, I go all around the world, but everybody's getting money. But how long is the money? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people get money for 5 minutes, but how many people are gonna get money for 50 years?
Yeah.
And I'm learning exponentially every day. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. I'm tripping. I don't have a retirement plan set up. I don't plan on retiring, but then again, I don't plan on cutting hair this long because my back is already hurt, and I'm trying to figure out how to take care of my body. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to figure out a way to cut less and make more.
Yeah.
I mean, Jigga approached me a while ago asking me, like, how do you brand yourself? And I told him straight up, like, dude, just keep your eyes down and focus on what you need to do, and everything else will follow suit. And
well, you know what? When Instagram, I'm not sure when exactly Instagram came out, but I remember I was late on it. Shane was even later.
Shane, super late.
That was funny. That whole Instagram
because I used to. I mean, I think Shane was already at Headshots, and I keep hearing from people like Shane don't want to do Instagram. He don't.
Yeah,
he don't
talking
want
all that.
Like I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah,
it's funny because I remember Jigga and Youngblood would always be like, Shane, dude, like, people want to see you on this shit. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I barely knew how to. I was using a Tony Hawk sidekick at the tender age of 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, So I didn't even trip. But that just goes to show you too. Like, I didn't think much of it. I just did what I thought was right and posted it on social media.
Yeah, it came naturally. Because when I came late, I came on it later, and I still struggle with, it's like, I'm not trying to get help followers, but then it's like, I know the time we're in.
Yep.
We got to adapt to this shit.
True.
And it's like, you adapt pretty well. Jigga was always consistent.
Dude, Jigga's
with everything.
Real quick.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Jigga's fucking hair, like, Jigga's haircuts, dude. Like, unfucking believable, dude, every time.
And they're fast, too. You got really fast. You're faster than Carlo.
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
Yeah. We might have to take Carlo.
Shout out to Carlo, man.
Yeah, straight up. Shout out to Zooligan Low, Carlo. We was the original 4 of this shit, like,
we were.
And everybody knows it. And I'm not to brag, like, it was us 4 who held it down for the zoo. And we definitely made a staple in the beginning of this barber shit before it blew up, like before Instagram, weird. Before YouTube, before this whole shit. And when
we were having fights with each other in the shop.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We never butted heads, did we?
Not that bad,
but I remember your fist bumped into the wall a couple times.
And I remember when somebody put talc in Shane's cool care on the top, and then once he opened it. It popped over on some kid. Yeah. It popped over on some kid, and he was hot.
I think that was me. It
was. You know why I know it's you? Because you know what he did?
Yeah.
He straight up grabbed his talc and went in your back bar and just he didn't care. That was his get back at you. Like, he didn't care. But that was the kind of stuff we did. You know what I'm saying? And made shit fun. And
there was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot of growing pains
for sure.
Yeah, Shane had to go through anger management.
I literally went. I really did go to anger management. It's the only diploma I have. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
I remember Patty told me, my ex-wife told me, she's like, if you don't go to anger management, me and Peyton are gone. Because I wiped some dude out in front of Yummy Yogurts with my boy Busy.
I remember that story.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, I heard that story.
These dudes were smoking a blunt, and it was pissing me off. It was blowing in his face, and then, long story short, I ended up smoking like 3 dudes. Patty was like, this isn't going to work for me. So I go to anger management, and it was just so happened to be cohesive with what was going on at work. So I went to anger management and graduated. That was tight. It was like what they talk about in like a bad relationship where the bad person has like a moment of clarity. I had like 3 months where I was like, oh, life is so chill. And then on the 4th month, it's all like right back to my former self. So.
I don't remember you being pissed at Jigga too much.
I had a hard time getting pissed at Jigga because he was always hell of respectful.
It's a hard time. It's a hard time talking back to him too.
Even my match, like if Jigga called me, he's like, this is Jigga's voice. Blood. So and so is fucking up so bad right now. You need to come deal with this. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Dude, Jigga had to call me at times, and I would have my client in my chair to go to the other shop to fire people.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Shotty Most, I'll go ahead and shot you out. Remember that?
Hey,
there's a couple of them. But, yeah, dude. It was wild. Jigga.
These guys clown on me for getting people fired, man.
But you saved your ass. Well, yeah,
a lot of people
Jigga had your back.
Save who, me?
Oh.
Save me?
Oh.
I know.
Dude, you know what?
Oh, because I didn't know a lot of shit going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that was going on in the back room that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
not yet.
And you put me as manager. Shane put me as manager at the zoo, and I'm fucking mid-20s. Just doing what I thought was right for the shop. And I mean, we were good, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know what I was doing. I just did what I thought was right. But when it came to like not firing people, but just putting the real authority down, like I didn't really have that in me. But that's why I called Shane like, hey man, I've said enough, and we need to make shit happen.
I mean, Jigga always he never slighted me. You know what I mean? Jigga would even if we accidentally put lettuce in a sandwich, he would never slight me.
Really picky about his shit,
dude. Jigga is the worst. Man, how you do it, dude? His whole day, he'd fuck off our whole day if there was fucking lettuce in a sandwich.
And I think everybody could attest to that who's worked with me. You fuck up my order, it's a bad thing. It's not that I'm mad at the person who picked up the food or put in the order. It's just a situation. Like, goddamn, I'm simple, yo. I like my burritos, rice, cheese, and beef, and that's it, right? How you gonna fuck that up? Yeah. How's a taco lady gonna fuck that up? Like,
that was so.
So it was. I'm. It's funny. I'm like that. I'm funny like that.
I love it.
You know, if I don't know. I didn't know if I was gonna talk about this, but there's a reason. Like, I'm still not proud of this. Like you said, I didn't know. Did Jigga really save my ass?
Yeah.
Like, cause.
But then again, I didn't know that till years later.
Yeah, the thing is, like towards the tail end of the zoo, like I was on a decline. There was a time where Jonathan just came in and he was busy, like cutting, like on a Thursday, Friday, and there was times where I'll be only cutting like 1-2 people on a Thursday, Friday. That never happens. I'll be sleeping in my car, and I'll come in, and Jigga's really good at fucking hurt my feelings. Like,
at the same time, that's the busiest barbershop.
Yeah, and then I'm like, Jigga will be like, oh, slow day, huh? And I'm like, damn, I know, but goddamn. But you know what? I thought about it, like, yo, whose fault is that? That's my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, and that too. I'll say it, like, I had a cocaine problem, and at that time, anybody who's been addicted to anything that struggles with addiction is like, you don't know what's going on until, like, you just never know.
Until something bad happened or something.
Yeah,
like
until
that.
something. Yeah, it's like I was oblivious to it.
Well, that I think that had a definite. So I put everything into hindsight. What happened? Like the whole business transition, the whole like transition from, the zoo to hefts, and then the shit that I was catching at the same time, still cutting 120 people a week.
Yeah.
Then I was like fucking super concerned, but I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, like I can't. There's nothing I could do. The shit was already done when I caught wind of the whole gamut of nonsense.
Yeah.
And all I could be is supportive. And try to be as understanding as possible.
And that, dude, I never tried to hide it from you. Like, I apologize for that. I apologized before, but I remember when you told me at one of your parties, probably 4th of July, we were drunk. We were like, drunk. I know you were doing coke in the back. You know, and then when you told me that, dude, I was fucked up. I was like, I'm sorry.
That's the same party that you didn't want to do more coke, so you went to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
so you didn't want to do that. Was respectful. You didn't want to disrespect me, so you went to bed for fucking 9 hours while we were wilding out.
No, but that was a fun party. That was definitely a shame, shameful moment. I felt like I let you down, everybody down. I remember Carlo caught me in the back, red-handed, with the bag in my hand. And what hurt the most is that he didn't even look at me. He didn't say anything. He just pretended like he didn't have it, and that was even worse.
Well, I talked to Jigga later on and was like, I know what's going on. I don't remember the exact conversation, but because I was dealing with a lot of shit myself. But that whole time was like the zoo was changing, like for a kind of a changing for like a suspect course as far as I was concerned. My personal life was going into shambles. My second daughter was born, and it was just like a fucking culmination of craziness. And then at the same time, I was like hoping to be more helpful in the opening of Hef's. But I was pissed.
Yeah.
Like super pissed for like several reasons.
Sorry.
That was such a weird time, man.
Yeah, it was because he was at odds because he didn't know like.
Dude, that shit was weird.
That was so weird. That was weird because it wasn't like I felt like I was stuck in the middle. It was like, damn, I got my cousin ready to bounce. I got the zoo and Shane to hold down. I got my clients that depend on me to be there. So how could I leave? How could I? But that's my cousin. We might open up something new and something different and opportunities. But it is.
I was more like I was more like worried about Jeremy's well-being than anything.
Dude, shit, tell me about it. I was
dude. This kid was 104 pounds. Soaking wet.
Like 130. 7.
Doing a fucking ball a day. I had no idea what was going on.
But yeah, that was a weird time because I was being completely transparent with you the whole time. I'm like, yo,
but super late. Like transparent in 30 days. Like I vividly remember you being transparent with me the last 30 days.
No, the whole
way.
You
were loosely, as far as transparency for you and then transparency for me, two totally different worlds. Like, they're like, we'll just do this, knock this out real quick.
Yeah.
Q was entirely transparent for several months. There was no harsh feelings or like anxiety.
He told you for the gates.
So like the whole Shane's brand was supposed to come in on the tail end of Headshots. And you guys remember that, correct?
Yeah.
Like so it was the zoo, then Headshots, and then we were gonna do the Shane's brand, which was supposed to be the precursor to all things great in barbering as far as I was concerned. Mm-hmm. So like I had this idea in my head of how things were supposed to unfurl all while trying to take care of my family. And then I get smacked with the Hef's opening. So remember I had 30 days, dude, to come up with the whole flight plan for the Headshots decline and the Shane's opening in one shot.
No, dude, you gave me 30 days. Like I was being honest with you the whole time. And Brandon was telling me, shout out to Brandon, and like Brandon was like, dude, don't tell Shane shit until you have something locked down. I was like, dude.
Because Brandon knew me well enough at the time to know that I'd be pissed.
Yeah, well, to know that.
Five dudes are dipping at once.
Yeah, and I didn't, and this thing, Bong, they always make a joke about it all the time, like about how I threw them under the bus. Like,
well, you did, because they were all super stuck. They were hiding behind you.
But I told you, like, I thought I knew that they were gonna bounce on me, but the reason why they didn't say anything to you is because I didn't have shit locked down.
I was yelling at them already. Like, I was already getting crazy.
And the thing is, it wasn't their fault. Like you got it out of me. Like who's bouncing? When I'm like, Justin said he was going. Bong said he was down.
I remember Germ was a nervous
The thing is
wreck.
though. Yeah, the thing
Where's
is...
Where's the bag? Too soon? Sorry. Too soon?
The thing is, though, they weren't ready to tell you until I had something locked down. And it was like, I did it. That was my fault. And that's why all this shit... And I remember Jigga and Carlo were completely honest with me. Like, they were like, yo, I'll consider it, but you know what? Also, real shit is like, yo, I got a family to take care of. Whereas, like, yo, I'm not gonna just jump the gun and just put my shit at risk. And I, like, without, if I don't have my shit together, I was like, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, Jigga and Lo were with. I mean, we were together since day one. Yeah. It was like it was a big deal.
Yeah. That was a big deal.
And, but I was like, dude, even at the grand opening of Hef's, I was so proud of you, dude. Like, The real thing is, I was just more concerned about your well-being. Eventually, like dealing with like the stuff from my spinal surgery and shit like that, and just life lessons alone, I learned like what I can hold on to and what I can't. There's a lot of shit that pisses me off, but like as far as like what you did here, I'm super grateful like that you did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, if we didn't have that meeting and you didn't give me a deadline. Who knows? You know, if you would have just cut me some slack,
well,
like,
you don't know.
When you're ready to go, you go. But that pressure, was like, that was probably the worst thing that happened at the time, but probably the best.
Probably the
thing.
best
Well,
thing. It pushed you to get shit done, right?
And
you
even then, I was looking for people to blame. At one point, I was blaming you because I was like, why would Shane do this to me? You give me only a month, and I got shit to do.
Because I knew you well enough to know that if I didn't put the pressure on you, you weren't going to do shit.
Yeah, and I did it. Yeah, and I say I blame you, but I did that because of me, because I didn't have my shit together, and I didn't want to blame myself, so I blamed it on you.
Yeah.
Shit, when you're the owner, all the blame goes on you.
Everything.
Always, no matter what, you could do right. You could do the right thing for forever, and one thing goes off, you're like, you fucking loser.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned. I was like, fuck, dude. That's why I know like you're pissed all the time, or like you're having anxiety.
Yeah.
And like
it's stressful. And then I've learned over time, like. So this is a cool time to be doing this interview because, the pride that I take in barbering now is tenfold what it was
for sure
10 years ago.
See it.
And everything from the way that we treat our clients to my cuts and everything in between, the service, is a lot different than when I had the zoo. So I look back and it really calms me down. Like, the zoo. I mean, it's kind of a gift and a curse that I'll always be affiliated. But it's something that I learned a lot from. Yeah. And now with the Shane's brand opening the second location 5 weeks ago, we're going into our 6th week, I think. The pride that I take in it causes me more anxiety now because I'm more hands-on and I'm more attentive because of the fact that I put all that weight on Jigga's shoulders.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like Jigga, I put a lot of weight on Jigga's shoulders with like calling shots, and like I was going through this thing where I was getting super crazy social anxiety, so I would be cutting all day at the downtown shop, and then I'd go to the zoo to say what's up, and I'd get so anxious because I was overwhelmed.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So, and Jigga's like the last original member of the zoo. If I'm not correct.
Well, Travis went and rehired people I fired. We won't.
Shout out to Trav, dude.
Shout out to Trav.
The zoo couldn't be in better hands, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is it like Shane, dude? Like I want to clear this up. Like, all right, is it cool? It should be cool. Like you should be proud, dude. Like Trav started coming here because of you.
The zoo is in a good place. The zoo is a good place right now.
I'll let Jigga talk on it.
Definitely, I mean, from the beginning, like we started this together, like we all know, and we didn't know what we were doing. We just figuring out this whole barber game, man, and now it's blown up to something where it's at, and like now we done figured out like what it is. And Trav came in 2016 and did what we asked him to do. Yeah. Like we needed things and. There was things that we weren't getting, Shane, and of course, like I
take ownership of all my shortcomings.
Little things, just chair, AC, little things like that. But like again, like he put the shop like management. You just had your brand going, like, and I understand that. I understand what you were doing, like, and it's hard, like.
It's tricky.
It's hard. It's hard. So, but where the zoo is at right now, I feel like. I mean, dude, we're going open 2005. We in 2019. We go.
I was there in 2004 though.
Okay.
So yeah.
But we go 14 years, and like to me, like I'm the last man standing at the zoo from who started this shit, and like I feel like nothing has really changed as far as business. And that's because of Shane and because of Travis.
I mean, Travis. The good thing is that Travis, like I pulled him. And then trained him, and then he learned everything from me, and then I sent him over there.
Same thing with me. Like I learned from you. I learned from you, and I got.
The only thing that I'm gonna address this because I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't feel comfortable with it. Okay. The thing that bothers me is ego. When people's egos swing around other people based solely on their barbering skill set or what they think is a barber skill set, that's bullshit to me.
That goes to all the barbers.
That
man.
goes
Like
to-
all
that
the
goes to
all the
everybody.
new barbers coming up, man.
That goes to
Man,
every-
put your
dude,
ego
you-
aside.
at the end of the
You
day,
might
we
need
cut
a little
hair.
bit of it. You might.
We cut hair.
We might need a little ego to, to
Everybody
be,
has ego.
Yeah, we actually we had Julius Caesar. Shout out Julius Caesar, man.
Shout out to Jules.
Shout
man.
out
I was
Jules
really,
because
I was
hey,
really.
hey, man.
I was like, hey,
That
go
was a good shot.
ahead.
He came.
Yo.
Jules came to the shop 2 weeks ago. He did a hands-on on Sunday, and then he did a. Oh no, my bad. He did a look and learn on Sunday, and then he did a hands-on for the zoo on Monday. But he came in on Sunday, and my boy dropped a tear, man. Just speaking on like
Dude, they used to
where
come
he's
in when
came
they were
from.
kids.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey, real talk. Hey, shout out to Julius Caesar, man, because he's straight up from the Bay, and he went to LA, did his thing, and he is who he is now because of who he is, and he always gives the zoo nothing but respect, man. And that's
Those
what
guys were kids coming in there.
and yeah, he came and got a cut by Low before he even left to go to LA.
Yeah,
And
dude, like his whole shit. I
yeah,
was
he
like,
got that shit down.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Jules, you got your shit down, like
Yeah.
your whole
I was like,
curriculum.
goddamn.
Like, man, I learned so
I
much.
was like, yeah, I was
learned
like,
so much in those 2 days,
let
man.
me know then.
But when he dropped
that,
when he dropped the tear, just talking about where he's come from, man, that was a big moment to me, because we follow this guy, we see what he's doing, man. He's doing big things, man.
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
barber game.
I ran into him in Chicago like a month ago at an air show.
And he's from here, and he doesn't forget where he come from, yo. So shout out to Jules,
Yeah, it's
man.
important.
Yeah, I was impressed. Like, great teacher.
And that's and
At
back to
that young age, like these like only 30.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, go ahead.
and the
teach me.
relativity of not forgetting where you come from is exactly what I was talking about prior to Jigga talking about Jules.
Mhm.
Is that when people's egos supersede their actual capability or their mental, like their knowledge of anything, it fucks their whole personality off, and that's something that that I've definitely had a discrepancy with a few people. Am I proud of what we did as a team with the zoo? Fuck yeah. Do I have to agree with what's going on present day? Absolutely not. Like, I don't have to agree with anything.
Yeah.
But do I fucking respect, do I respect James and shit? Hell yeah. Like, Jigga was my right hand dude. Like,
Yeah.
I put way more
I
weight
thought
on.
Carlo was.
Well, I mean, no, you guys didn't want to manage shit. I asked Carlo. I think I asked Carlo. No, I don't even know if I asked.
I don't think you did.
Lolo, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I think you did. I
think-
hope you weren't butthurt about that. Like,
Low wasn't.
nah,
Dude,
nah.
he had a short fuse with Carlo too. Like shorter than me. You know, you like.
Cause
Remember when you fired him?
It was him and
Like,
he was
when you fired Low, I think it was Valentine's Day. He went to leave early or something, and then
I went crazy.
you
dude.
fired him, and I was like, from what Carlo told me, like, you fired him, but then remember that whole day I wasn't talking to you, I wasn't mad at you, I was just uncomfortable because Carlo he was like, yo, Carlo thought he was fired, and then you said he wasn't fired. He was just like, yo, take some time off.
Nah, Carlo.
And then-
Me and Carlo were crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You guys
Of course,
were.
yeah.
You guys had this.
Not because Carlo was like my kid. He was like
Yeah.
my prepubescent teenage son.
Yeah, and then at the end of that day, like I wasn't talking to you all day. You're like, yo, Jerv, we gotta talk. And then shit, all I remember is you punched the fucking hole in that wall.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I take ownership of all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I look back and reflect on it. Like, dude, I was just trying to make sure that we were the best we could be. Because I could. The one ability that I have very few abilities, but one ability I do have is to see how shit's gonna unfurl later.
Yeah.
And the zoo was the precursor to everything in the Bay Area barber scene. And I mean, you guys haven't really, not that I know of, like, had the opportunity. Like, I've been all around the world I've been so grateful to travel around the world doing what we do. And the zoo is so relative internationally.
Is it? I know Bay Area, but I don't.
No, it's fucking crazy.
I know Soren went over there.
I met a lot of people like from different states and stuff, and they know who we are, man. It's crazy. I was at a bachelor party in San Diego. We went to Tijuana, whatever. I was in line. I met this guy right behind me talking. We was talking, and he was from Oakland. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm a barber at the San Mateo Zoo.
Yeah.
Instantly, he knew who he was.
Yeah.
So
no, you guys.
It's crazy, man. Like
that was so.
We're known.
reverting back to what I was saying, but my psychosis was, if I don't teach these guys right, who's going to teach them right? So I taught you guys what I knew then, and now what I know now is like.
But you led by example, just doing what you do, and that was more than enough.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I put my pressure on myself because, shout out to Eric Too Fresh, our newest barber.
Yeah.
Like, I tell him, I'm like, fuck, I'm not putting enough effort into teaching you. But every time I drop a little something, he'll pick it up and then he'll take it and run with it. I'm like, fuck, if I could do this more, like be more hands on all the time. Then,
But Shane just got that in him, like
Yeah.
Shane, that's just who he is.
Yeah,
Like,
that I don't have that in me all the time.
It's a little trickier now because I'm a little bit more quiet and reserved, and I'll kind of sit back and I'll like try to do my best to delegate, and at the same time I'm like still leading by example. I still go to work crazy early. I still do what I got to do, but I like at the new shop, it's me, Juan, and Jose there, and Jose's been cutting hair for longer than Juan, but Juan's only been trained under me, so his skill set and his understanding of like customer service and like timeliness and cleanliness and sanitation and like everything is top tier. And Jose was in another shop previously, and it still the kid is incredible. But I'll delegate to Juan, and then Juan will delegate to Jose, and it just comes around full circle. And it's only 3 of us in there versus 8 people at the other shop.
Sure.
So, it's definitely like, you put 15 years between the 2 learning curves, and now it's like I'm finally to a point where I feel comfortable enough to actually spill on these guys. Like, now you guys might think I'm mental now, but in 5 years, like even like Jeremy saying this stuff to me now, like recognizing it means the world to me because
Dude,
we would be. It's so hard, dude. Like, Jeremy, just talk to me now. Let me ask you a question. I want you to talk to these guys about, and yeah, keep in mind, Jeremy is very like he's significantly more mellow than me. But tell me about what it's like to be a shop owner.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun for the most part. You get all the freedom. Yeah, a single shop. You get all the freedom, but along comes with that, like, when you have that much freedom, especially as barbers, like, yeah, you think you can make your own schedule, do all this, do that. Like, no, not really, dude. Like, maybe I'm being a little overboard, but you gotta be a slave to this shit if you want to be successful. And I'm not saying that you can't be successful doing a 9 to 5. That's cool. But the way I learned,
though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way I learned is like, like you bust your ass and like you fuck your back up. My back's fucked up. Like, you don't eat during, you don't eat the whole day. Fucking, you OD off whatever Coke, or like Shane used to take 5-hour energies when it first came out, like 3 of them. Like when the caffeine pills came out.
And 3 cups of coffee before that.
Yeah, like he'd have to go home because he did way too much caffeine.
Yeah,
I remember Carlo fucking had to run around the block because he took too many venom pills and caffeine pills.
Bad,
I never used to drink coffee until I came to the zoo.
Yeah,
we were so
now it's
bad.
every day.
But when me and Carlo, so the first 12 months, it was when we were doing it without you guys, and it was just me and Carlo. And me and Carlo would be there. I remember getting there at like 6 or 7, which was super early for a barbershop. And then like being there till 10 at night, 6 days a week, And haircuts, when me and Carlo opened, we were charging $15. Remember that?
Wow.
We charged $15 a haircut.
Wow.
And I remember some days like, this is what I like. So this is all relative because the newer guys will be like, "Oh, it was kind of slow today," and they cut 8 heads at $40.
That's not slow, yo.
Right? Listen.
Definitely not slow.
So I'm like, everybody that I've ever heard that from, which is less now than previous, I'll be able. No one knows what slow is except me and Carlo. And then after me and Carlo, no one knew what slow was.
Oh, I know what slow is. Yeah.
Well, you knew what slow is because of Lakeview. But when you came to the zoo, I remember screaming at you, being like, "Dude, you're gonna be busy at the zoo."
Yeah.
And you were busy, like, dude, you guys all killed it right away, like, and then, now it's like, I'm just cut from a different cloth in the regard that, like, I remember what it was like cutting 3 heads at $15 a head, and being there for 14 hours, and then a month later cutting 25 heads at $15 an hour, or $15 a head, and then working 15 hours. Like, it's just like crazy.
Yeah. Okay, with that said, like, as much as you're doing right now, like, yeah, you're, like, as far as your name, like, yeah, you've grown a reputation for yourself, but also there is another side where, people that don't know you as well or done business with you, like, they have, we would say, some negative things to say about you.
Of course.
And I would always have your back, when people come to me like, "Man, fuck Shane, do this, that, whatever," and I'll laugh it off. I was like, why you let him play you like that? You know what I mean? And it's not like he played you. It's like, yo, dude, this is like your epitome of capitalism. This is what makes America great. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I was charging you guys less booth rent than I should have been. Like, I should have been fucking cracking you guys.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because now I don't charge enough booth rent, but I'm refused to dilute my moral fiber, and I'm asking Juan to let me borrow some money so I can get out of this shit with my back. Yeah. My back costs 52 G's.
Yeah.
Cash.
Yeah. Why you what
on
you
the
doing
on the that's why I got rid of the 2015 Challenger.
Hey.
Right.
And you got the other car, that wagon.
Hey, one thing about Shane that I like, you know, I always notice like this from the beginning, straight from the beginning. This guy knows how to make money independently, man.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to just do it on his own. Everything on his own. He don't need all this other shit. He knows how to get it, man.
That's the thing, though.
From this guy.
That's what I've learned from this back surgery. The back surgery rocked me so hard that like I'm in a position right now that like I'm not afraid to ask for help if I need it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still doing everything on my own. Like I don't need backing. Uppercut takes great care of me as far as they go. Shout out Uppercut Deluxe. I love you guys. Kiara, Steve. I love you guys to death. But like I'm in a position now where I understand humility. Like I couldn't walk. I was pissing myself. I was shitting in my bed.
I was proud, dude. I was really proud. I was
wild.
Like look at him go. Or look at him not go.
I was like, I wonder how many people are clapping right now and how many people aren't. You know, but like I love hearing that. Like that's balance. I like hearing what people like. Dude, stop tip dogging me and tell me some real shit. Like let's talk about some real shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't give a fuck if you like my haircuts. Like what about my personality, dude? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like we know each other the way like a lot of people don't know you like how I know you.
Yeah.
That's why when people tell me all this shit, talking all this shit about you, I'm like, oh well, he
tell
doesn't
him
make it bad
to me. It'd make me happy.
Yeah. No, but it makes me happy.
It doesn't even count. Listen to me, everybody out there. It doesn't even count if you're talking shit unless you say it to my face.
I mean, but you know what it is. But you know what? It's like that. That's what it is. That's what the game is. It's there.
That's what it comes with.
That's what it comes with. That's what it
comes with.
But that's
being top dog. It comes.
Yeah.
But I did always, I did always back. I did always back you up because I'll talk shit about you too. I'll be like, yeah, fuck him. But I'll be like, no, he's like, dude, I still love, he still doesn't change the fact that I
love that. That's the best part about the world. Like, not everyone can like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's disposition. If everybody liked me, it'd be fucking weird. Like that's super weird.
Yes,
but I love it. I would love it if someone would come to me and just be like, Shane, you're a fucking cat. Like, all right, like I like you, dude. Like
I was having this conversation with Justin. Shout out to Just Blaze. Cut to contrast, everybody. Cut to contrast.
Young blood.
When he bounced from the shop, like we don't talk about it much, but I was glad that everything ended cool. Like we're still,
I love Justin.
And I told him no matter what, dude, happens, like you're still gonna be my brother. Even though you get on my fucking last nerve all the time.
That was funny. Real quick, Youngblood. I love that you did that to Jeremy. I love that you bothered Jeremy that much because I Youngblood was like, Youngblood was like the Headshots version of Lolo. Like Youngblood came in, he was like my right hand dude. Remember, I was locked up when Headshots opened. Huh? So I was calling Youngblood from jail. Youngblood from jail, like, Youngblood, this is what you got to do. And he's like, oh my God, dude. He had never been, I don't even think Youngblood was in a shop yet. No, he was fresh out of barber school.
Yeah.
So I was locked up.
Yeah.
Remember? And like, I love that Youngblood stressed you that hard because that was something that was a vital nerve.
Yeah.
And I love you for that, Justin. Please don't ever change that. I love that.
Fuck.
But I remember being in jail without my glasses on, dude. Crazy migraine headaches. They took my glasses from me. Remember when they fucking shackled me from my
Shane was talking hella shit so close.
Yeah, he was.
I'm like, what?
Was Carlo in there with you?
Nah,
the only reason Shane got away with that shit is because you're white, dude. If you were black, dude, they would have.
What do you mean got away? I was stuck in there. Like Carlo got to go home. That was a fucking political correct decision on the police.
Dude, all that shit you was talking, like, dude.
You don't remember me spending $15,000 to get out of that shit, like on the tail end of a second and third felony? Like, fuck that.
I got footage of Carlo getting hemmed up, getting pushed up on the car, his hands behind his back. That's
funny.
That day was
because people talk about that all the time. I'm like,
they used that shit against me in court because they recorded everything I said.
Oh, really?
Terrorist threats. I was like hella calm, dude. I remember being sober, listening to the courtroom with the judge. Remember I don't even know if you guys came to the court hearing when So the court hearing, they had me in shackles because of my first felony battery charge from 98. So they walked me in shackles, and then the judge is like, pushes play on the recorder, and I'm like super calm, and I'm like, hey dude, check this out. If you pull this car over, take your pistol off, and we fist fight on the side of the road. Long story short, the judge is like, nah, dude, this guy's fucking out of his head. But just going back to what we were talking about with Youngblood, it's like it took Youngblood to rock Jeremy hard enough for Jeremy to call me and be like, dude, I understand everything that you were telling us back in the day. Yeah, like my psychosis with barbering, like what Juan has to deal with, for instance, now with me is way more calibrated, but significantly more intense. Does that make sense? So I'm not yelling and screaming or throwing shit, but I'm explaining to him eye to eye, like, dude, this is why I need you to be like this. And I promise you someday it'll pay off.
Yeah.
You know? And it makes way more sense now.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys got the shittier part of me. And
we did.
Like, dude, I wasn't.
We got you're still learning.
You're still learning.
That's where I'm at. I feel like that's where I'm at with you. It's like I'm growing into that, you know? Like, whatever role I am, it's like, dude, it's a learning experience.
Well, that's what it is. We got to take, like, a lot of the things we fuck up on as a learning experience. That's what it is. Yeah. Like, why do we fuck up? Why do we do this, right? Yeah. So
even the way I was, like, doing shit, like, I can't regret it. It's just part of, like...
Yeah, it was tight, though. Shane be trying to preach about, like, being healthy and shit. He'll bring fucking celery sticks, salt, pepper. It's like, yeah, dude, you guys eat like shit. And then you're pounding fucking 6 Red Bulls.
And now Juan is at work like, dude, you haven't eaten for 2 days, dude. Like, Juan will bring me a banana and a granola bar. Like, dude, you need to eat this. Like, but I don't drink Red Bulls anymore, and I stopped drinking coffee after 9. So like, I'm doing better.
After 9.
Yeah.
Haven't you had before 9?
Fuck. It depends. Sometimes I'm only doing 1 coffee, but yeah, it's dude. It's like you guys taught me a lot, and like I remember when I made the definitive decision to do the Shane's brand, like I was like, I'm gonna put my name on this shit, and it has to be something that I'm willing to stand behind, and like I learned all that shit from you guys, you know, like counterbalance and you know, repercussions and understanding and all that shit.
That was a sick move you did though.
Dude,
once they left, and then branding a Shane, and then putting everybody to the zoo, or how many people
moving
people over, and then starting your brand. I was impressed, like, especially the branding, man. Like, cause we didn't know shit about branding.
Well,
we didn't know what the fuck that is.
Well,
We didn't know what that was. Like branding, like we were just the zoo, and we just cut hair. That's what we know, and that's what we do. And then when Shane came out with Shane's Barbershop and just all this other stuff came along with it, like,
it became natural.
It was natural, and he figured it out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I came to him like a couple years later, like, yeah, I'm thinking about branding myself.
That's the thing.
Like,
I'm going to tell you one thing, everybody out there. I don't have any secrets. I don't spend more than 2 hours a week on Instagram. The one thing that you have to remember is just being yourself, dude. Like, genuine. It's really that simple. Like, I don't have a logo for the Shane's brand. I don't have any of that.
You do?
I don't have like a stuck logo.
Oh, no.
And there's nothing to it but just to like put everything you've got into it, and then the world will pick it up. Like the Shane's brand, dude, like that shit has fucking far superseded itself. The places I've been, the people I've met. And it shakes me up every time I think about it. Like, dude, when I was walking around like Germany, and I was like recognizing the fact that like
Germany, Hitler? What? I don't know. What are you talking about?
He catching the moment, man. He catching the moment. He just
you're back.
Splash, motherfucker.
He said Hitler. He said Germany. He said Hitler.
Like, dude, like, understand, like, recognizing humility, like, dude, like, I'm in Germany begging for money from people around the world to get fixed. Mm-hmm. When I should have been in a position where I could have cashed out the surgery, had my arms up. Dude, my surgery was August 10th. I had, like, I think like 16 staples in my stomach. Or, like, these, like, it's like a fucking 14-inch cut on my stomach. And I had 3 titanium discs in my back that were 10 millimeters apiece at 1.25 inches of height that I gained from all the damage I did in my back from barbering and skateboarding and self-employment.
Yeah, because you're stupid and you're biking. What is that?
Oh,
fixing your biking.
Right.
All that shit, you're doing all this stupid shit, fucking up your body. Not to mention your ulcer. Yeah. And then we could talk about the ulcer. And then another thing too. Shout out to all the Filipinos, man, that struggle with this shit, with the eczema. Like when you stopped taking those little steroid things.
Yeah.
The lotion.
Yeah.
Like you were going through it, dude.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey, I had to. Yeah, shout out to all my people who got eczema. it's a real epidemic, man. Like that they don't have a cure for. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you guys not have a cure for this yet? Yeah. It's weird, but it's because they want to sell us these drugs or whatnot, and like
it's all steroidal, right?
Yeah,
steroids,
yeah, steroids, and I'm still going through it, man. Like I stopped taking all these topical ointments that have steroids in it in November 2015, and I'm still going strong with it. And I still have my days. I have good days, bad days, and like it definitely put me in a place of depression. Like I like this is something hard to handle, and everybody who has eczema could attest to this. Cause
or any chronic pain,
any kind of health issue like that you can't control. Like I don't have control of this. Like I wake up in the middle of the night just scratching myself. I don't know why. Yeah. And for some reason, like when I'm cutting hair, I don't think about this shit, man. Yeah. That's what I hold on to. And
dude,
you fucking went through that shit like crazy.
No, I know when you're going through this shit because your customers start calling me. I was like, dude, what the fuck? what? They're like, yo, Jigga's gone, bloody. Like I need cut. I'm like, dude,
it started to worry me when like the first like
dude like Jigga's hands, like my hands are fucked up. Like
it was worse before.
It was worse. I remember when Jigga came by.
I'm getting better.
Yeah. Jigga came by to visit and he shook my hand and he was like. He shook my hand, remember? And I was like, Jigga, you cool? Like, and he was so rocked. Like, I think it was either right before my surgery. Yeah. Oh, it was at the fucking fundraiser, right?
Yep. Yeah. That was what?
Senior, when Evan was there with the food truck.
What year was that? 2015?
The surgery was August 2017.
17.
Yeah, people would ask me too, like, hey, Blood, is your cousin cool? I'm like, yeah, he just got hella eczema, like hella.
No, see, because so I decided, like, I found this thing called topical steroid withdrawal, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this shit, and when I did it, the first week that I did it and stopped taking all these steroids, like my body went wild, bro. Like I woke up in the middle of the night, just like scratching myself till I was bleeding.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
What side effects did that shit have, or like what caused you to want to stop using it? Like what were the side effects that could have potentially happened?
Does it make a blood thinner or something?
Yeah, so I was taking these topical steroids, and I was taking prednisone, which is a steroid pill that you taper down from. But after a while, that shit wasn't working no more, and my skin was just in a place that I couldn't even handle. And then I started doing research, and I found this thing called topical steroid withdrawal, and I decided to stop. I did this. I stopped doing this shit, and then the first week that I stopped taking all these medicines, like my body just went wild looking for. It's like any drug. If I've been taking these drugs since I was like 15 years old. Imagine that 15 years of taking a certain drug, and then you stop taking it, your body's gonna be looking for it, right? So my body just wilded out, and it started worrying me when like I couldn't go out in public. My face.
Or you couldn't go to work. When you couldn't go to work, I was like,
it took me.
You always go to work.
Yeah, like it took.
James was like how Cedric, dude, like Ced.
I don't miss a day.
So when you take a day out, I'm like, oh shit.
I think Jigga might have been late. I don't even, dude. I can safely tell you that I don't remember Jigga ever missing a day of work or being late. And did I ever get mad at you for missing work or being late?
So
the golden child.
not even, man. But yeah, that's what.
So what happened though? Like what was the definitive thing that was like? No, what made you wake up on whatever day it was and be like,
Filipinos, listen up.
I can't. No, dude, it's fucked up because I looked at his son's little hand and I was like, damn, dude.
It's hereditary. Eczema is hereditary.
Is it hereditary or is it geography?
Yeah, I think
honestly, all of that.
It's gotta be geography.
No, all of that shit. My brother had it. My cousins have it. My family in Canada.
Is it because of
from my dad's side of the family?
Genetics?
Because I think when God made Filipinos, right? He was like, hold on.
Not only Filipino, Polynesians have it and shit too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, he's like, Filipinos, you guys too fly. You guys look too good. Bam! Eczema just to fucking fuck shit up. But
it's a hard thing to go through, and like I've learned to kind of a long time. Like I guess you heal, I guess, whatever. But I'm still in a place where it's tough. It's up and down. Yeah. But it is what it is, and I gotta live with it. And like I always worry about how people look at me, but I've learned to not.
It doesn't seem like it.
I've learned to not worry.
No, you carry it very well because you see like it doesn't bother you.
Not
even
anymore,
when you scratch,
not anymore,
it's like,
man.
It doesn't bother you
when
you're scratching.
Not anymore. It doesn't bother me as much as back in the day, but like.
No, I used to. Yeah,
I used to.
And it's crazy because I'll see pictures of Jigga cutting, and I rip on everyone in the industry that wears gloves. If you wear gloves and cut hair, you're a lame. Sorry, I had to say it. If you wear gloves and you fucking cut hair, you're a lame. Except Jigga.
I had to, man.
But I see Jigga cutting hair with gloves, and I just act like I don't even see it. It's what it is.
It actually helped me, man.
Of
it
course.
actually helped my skin.
Of course it did. But like people don't understand that. And it's like,
but yeah, me being taken out, like I couldn't go to work for a whole week because of
that's why I knew it was bad. I was like, dude, Jigga does not do shit like that.
This shit is bad. This shit's really bad, and it started worrying me. Like it's gonna affect my career.
Yeah,
that's when it started really worrying me. But it's a journey, and for anybody who has eczema, man, like I'm there with y'all. Dude, it's not easy to go through. It's not.
But I got a dose of that. Like I used to make fun of RJ all the time because he has eczema bad. Yeah. And I remember I showed you my back. I was like, Jake, what is this? He was like, oh, that's eczema. I was like, fuck.
Oh, no, you sent out a bag of cocaine.
No, but
too soon?
I think Pope, because Pope, shout out to Pope. I was asking if Maya has eczema. She was like, yeah, she had like there'll be times where she'll be trying to sleep and he'll tell her to do it like this. And then sometimes he'll let her get away. It's like, okay, you can scratch it. And then she'll go, oh. That's how I know it feels like when it's about to get better. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, God.
It's crazy because if you think about Jigga's like skeletal, his frame is golden, where mine's shattered, and then like his skin is like on fire, right?
Yeah.
And then there's something going back to what Jigga was talking about dependency and all the stuff. Like with the back shit, it's tricky because I found out after my surgery that everybody that's had the surgery has become dependent on something.
Oh, yeah.
And it might not be pain pills. It might not be something, but it's HGH, illegal HGH, 90-day cycles of HGH that are unattainable, or pain medication. But like everybody that's had structural, like spinal damage, like the amount of damage that was done to my spine.
What they give you? Vicodin? Oxycontin?
No, they gave me shit that was way too strong for me. Like I'll take a couple Norcos and be cool for 24 hours.
Just Norcos, huh?
Yeah, but I can't take anything
what
stronger.
What else have you taken in your life?
That was it. Like I took Oxy and then I couldn't shit for a week. Basically broke my back again to try to shit. Like that was so dicey, dude.
Like Adderalls? Or?
No. I like Vicodin. Yeah, I'll take a couple.
How about when you go to Vegas? You just drink?
I'm all. Everyone just drinks in Vegas. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And everybody goes through shit, man. Like just going back to this whole shit, like I went through. Like everybody, like Shane is back. We all go through shit, and we handle it. Everybody handles shit differently, man. So
I had a meet. Yeah, it's super true. And I had a meeting today with my ex-wife and my daughter's doctor right before I came here. And like because we're being transparent, I'm gonna tell you, like I was in the car with Juan tripping because my daughter is worried about her dad's health. That's some crazy shit.
Because her dad's a beast.
She's like, my dad, like, who's going to take care of my dad? Who's going to take care of my dad? And, like, that's insane.
She's like, she's already tripping.
That hits a spot for sure. That'll hit a spot.
So I just came up here on that trip right now, you know? And it's like, Jigga's boys are going to worry about him. And, like, if Germ ever dumps in some burner.
How is it being a father? Because from what I see from outside looking in, it definitely when you guys are around your kids, it changes. Like I could tell, I'm like, it makes me happy to see how far we got. Because our generation kids, like our parent, I say like we didn't get that love, the same discipline. Like maybe some were spoiled, but they get the love, they get the discipline. But you guys, I feel like you guys both have a balance of both.
The number one thing for me is still trying to figure out the work-life balance thing. But Peyton and Parker, dude, they're like they look like you. They've never had anything like they've never had to deal with any like crazy turbulence, me and their mom get along cool, and
that's good to hear.
Shout out Patty.
Shout out to Patty.
Yeah, she's probably like
cheers.
Yeah, shout out to the moms.
Shout out to baby moms.
It was Mother's Day yesterday. Shout out to the
happy
wifey
Mother's Day to all the mothers around the world.
All the mothers that hold it down for their kids, and like since we're speaking on fatherhood, it's something that I'm new to, man. It's been about a year and a half, and like it's been getting better, I guess.
Jigga did something because Jigga is like the perfect dude in the present life, but in a past life he fucked somebody else because he had twins.
Yeah.
Like I my girls are 3 years apart, and it was fucking it's lunacy right now. Like they're like.
Yeah. I can understand if I got twin girls, I might have fucked somebody over.
But you know, me and Mono were just talking about
twin girl,
you would fuck somebody over bad.
Like a boy you could follow.
Yeah. Me and Mono
He
were
knows
just
all
talking
these Philippines. He's been dropping all these Filipino words today. Like with that guy right here.
These motherfuckers are stuck with these guys in the room for fucking 10 years.
He did learn something from us, Jerry.
Yeah, SJ's grand opening, right? Yeah. Me and Bob were joking around. I was like, wait, I wonder how much food Shane's gonna have. Like, he's probably just gonna have beers this time. Or, let's see. And then, he had no pizza. I was like, okay, good for you, Shane. You did learn something from us.
You learned it.
Before all his parties was just fucking
salad.
Just fucking salad, like fucking carrot sticks and beer. Hella beer. I was like, okay, now you got food. But me and Otto were just talking about this, like the time we're in right now, like good dads we out there.
We out here.
Well, y'all out there.
We out here.
You're out here.
You know what? You don't
hold it down. Not knocking the moms. Because, the mom's always going to be doing their thing.
Mom's the number one,
but
man.
the dads, like, the deadbeat, they're like, the dads is out, But for me, I'm not a father,
but... You just got to do it. You have no option to.
It's not a job.
But you can let me say that, like, the dad's out here. I see it. I'm like, that's what's up. I'm like, I'm fucking with that.
Yeah.
There was a time where you couldn't really say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely a different generation of raising kids.
I'm proud of that. Very proud of that.
Especially everything going on around.
Those little girls are like, dude, they fucking, dude, they could like say one word and I'm all, like, totally shook. You know what I mean? Like, especially Chooch, my little one, Parker, she's like, she'll just say something to me and fuck me off the rest of the day.
Imagine when they start talking back to you. Cause,
shit.
I have nieces and nephews, all ages. And I see what all the parents go through each stage.
I'm in the beginning stage because these boys just learn no. So like I'm like, you want to eat? No.
Oh,
you want to do this? No. No. That's how Kenzo sounds. Shout out Kenzo.
Super Koala.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Imagine when they turn into teenagers. You're like, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Like there's parents like some people that I didn't think I was that close. They'll call me. They'll be like, yo, Dad, can I stop? I'm stressed out. And then I'm like, the last thing I would have thought was he was stressed about his daughter. She's a teenager. She's like, dude, she's fucking talking hella shit. Like, yo, you're not fucking dad that you're supposed to be.
Whoa.
Like, and he's like, all the time, like, you be my baby girl. Like, she doesn't want to go to her father dance with him. And he's like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. So,
and then I was like, yo, I think she just turned into a bitch, just like how y'all are.
Nah, that's funny. I agree. Way higher than that. Way higher than that.
Except for Pam. Pam's cool. Pam is really
nah,
cool.
something you have to realize is like women are like girls are girls from the second they're born. Like whether they eat pussy or suck a teeth, like they're still girls and they do weird shit and make fucking strange decisions and base their hypothesis off shit that's totally irrelevant. Peyton and Parker have taught me like that women are fucking actually crazy from the jump. Like those two are the best thing that ever happened to me, and at the same time, they've been the biggest learning tool. Yeah. Like, like a random woman's gonna be a bitch on the street. Oh, well, why is she doing that, Pay? Because Dad, she's a girl. You know, like, and then I can be totally at peace with it. Like, women are fucking looked out.
Damn, real talk. I want a baby girl, man.
That should change me.
Yeah,
I mean, they softened me super tough, you know.
That's what I hear.
But it's like,
but they the sweetest to look like. It
dude,
seems
they're
like
the best.
Yeah,
they're the best. I miss them every day. Like I see them every day, and I still miss them every day. I was just at the doctor's appointment with Patty. Like, can I come by later and see Chooch? And she's like, yeah, of course. Like, I'll go and see the girls after I get all my work done. You know, like I can't go a day without seeing them. Yeah. It's like, you know, they're the best thing out.
Yeah, because I was just talking about this one. My close up, shout out to Mike V. Well, I shouldn't say that, but his daughter's growing up, and you know he's just like you guys are constantly struggling with raising your kids, and with his daughter, like that's his baby girl. He's like, so he would tell her like one of these days, Nace, you're just not gonna want to you're just not gonna like us for some reason.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Just for no reason.
Yeah.
So until that day comes, I'm just letting you know, and then blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he's preparing her, but it's like, yo, one of these days, your kids are just gonna fucking not like you for no reason.
Well, that's hormones.
It's hormones. Like, dude, yeah. And I'm like, you think back at it, I'm like, that's how I was too.
I hated everyone until last year. And I'm not a bitch. I'm a fucking. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I'm not is a bitch. But like, women just think they're just fucking wired different, dude. It's fucked up.
That's why we love them, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I always trip off it. Like if I didn't like their parts so much, I'd be swinging the other way. Heartbeat, dude. Like rainbow flag. No, but like it's just you realize it from the jump. Like women are women. It's what it is, and you have to either do or don't. You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fucking dad, dude.
Yeah, me too, Don.
And it was just having the twins. Like I could only imagine.
Dude, those little guys are beautiful, dude.
Are they crying at the same time, or like trying to go sleep different time? Like
no, because the little dude in front was crying.
Yeah.
And his brother's looking at him like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kenzo.
You know what I mean?
Kenzo's he likes to punk on Marlo. That's what he does. He takes his things. Like if he's holding a ball, he'll take his ball and just throw it over the gate just for fun.
Just to hear him cry.
Just to see his reaction.
That's dope. I used to do that to Corey. Corey, you little fucking...
Corey's
a bitch.
Cornbread
Jackson.
Cornbread. Yeah, Kenzo will just walk by Marlo, be like, "Pow!" Push him. It's funny. But yeah, man.
So how's his new shop doing?
It's crazy already. Like Juan and Jose are both booked entirely, and yeah, it's busy, man.
How's the zoo doing? It looks like
the zoo is doing good. We can. Yeah. I mean, like I said this earlier, like we kind of set the standard. First off, of course, Shane and Lo set the standard, and then me and Germ came, and we didn't know what the standard really is, and we just did what we did. We come in early and leave late. We come in, cut 15, 20 heads, and that's what we did. And like nobody does that.
When it
nobody
was the
did
four
that
of us,
shit.
do you guys remember how much hair we were cutting?
Yeah.
We're talking about almost 100
I was doing like 100. I was doing like 120 heads a week.
Yeah, I mean before y'all, I got that from Q too. Like Q, like.
Oh, they came by and visited me the other day.
Shout out Q Cut.
I fucking love Marcus. I love you, dude. You
hey, Q is the man.
Marcus is the originator.
Yeah. He's the originator, man. He was the first name I heard in this barber game, and when I
Marcus, shout out to Anton.
Yeah, Anton too, man. Those are the first two names that I heard in this barber game before.
Germ, when you guys were cutting in Lakeview on Randolph, do you remember when I would come in there when I was in barber school?
I remember.
Dude, I would watch these guys cut hair, just like someday, like. So when I graduated barber school, I was getting a lot of offers to work at shops, and I was like, nah, I have to take this to San Mateo because I know that San Mateo needs it. But I remember going into the Lakeview shop, Stuntastic, and watching Ron, Q, and Jeremy cut hair, and just sitting there tripping at this little dicey. Now reflecting back, like a super sketchy setup. Super sketchy setup in a super sketchy part of town, and ultimately putting like these guys at risk, which inevitably kind of did put them at risk.
It did,
It did, yeah. But I remember looking at them as such a point of reference. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to create something. Like, I want to do a fade like that dude just did, and I had like these guys had already been cutting hair. James had been cutting hair prior to going to barber school. Everybody had been cutting hair prior to going to barber school, whereas I was just a dude that sold rap records.
Yeah. And definitely you as a white boy, like back before then, like they were not fucking with you, especially on third. They're like
going on third in Palou and Bayview, like
the white boy. They're like,
that's ballsy.
These guys are the only guys that really know. But like what I went through, I was like, nah, dude, I'm not a sucker. Like I'm gonna try to figure this out, and I'm gonna do the best I can. And for whatever reason, at the tail end of my visit to 3rd Street, I was well received, but
it took a minute though. I'm pretty sure they were giving you a lot of shit.
Yeah, absolutely, and I loved it, and it made me who I am now. And I just want to tell Jeremy, like I was looking up to Jeremy before I even knew how to cut hair, and he eventually worked we worked all side by side. But when the zoo was open at the beginning, it was like definitely a prolific time in barbering. Yeah. The banter that would go on between me and Carlo or Jeremy and Jigga or me and Jigga or me and Germ was like unparalleled, and like I think that was something that like was monumental to not only myself but I think to everybody else that was around us. Not even just us as a team, but like the clients, because there's you got a trip though. So I'm cutting dudes now that are in their mid 30s or early 30s that were like 14 coming to the shop, 15.
Yeah.
And that shit's weird. Or like kids that I cut when they were like 3 that are having kids now.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So a lot of like I loosely mentioned it at the shop. I'll be like, Juan, dude, it's so weird. Like seeing so and so have a kid is a trip to me. And then I immediately reflect back to when I was just a dude that went from being like, I thought I was on the king of shit mountain selling these rap records all around the world, and then going back to a definitive zero, and then going to sit on a chair to watch 3 younger guys that were significantly younger than me as a point of reference to where I wanted to be, and then taking that to a fucking all white area and making them take it.
Yeah.
Making them taking what I knew and making them accept it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, dude, all of us were busy, all of us were booked, and all of us had a good time every day at work.
Yeah.
That was it, San Mateo. That was an untapped location, and you killed it, bro. Like I feel like
we killed it.
Yeah, we killed it. San Mateo probably never seen no ball fade, ball taper, all these designs and they never seen that shit. And once they seen it, they just hooked. They hooked. They was hooked to these haircuts, and that's one thing. Yeah, even like
Jigga's still there. And Jigga's so loyal to that shop that he's fucking still there, dude. And that means the world to me. Like for whatever, something in me created that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure. Like I take some ownership of that.
Of course,
something in me created that, and something in me created Juan. You know?
Yeah, it goes full circle.
Yeah,
it's full circle.
And like you saying that Germs, when he was in, me and Germs, we grew up together. We could talk about, we grew up since we were babies, you know what I'm saying?
He's the one, dude, I remember when he came to me and was like, you got to get my cousin in here.
Yeah.
Remember we put a 4th chair in for Jigga.
Yeah, I was like, Shane, dude, trust me.
Nah, but I could remember when, I seen Jerm. We haven't seen each other for a long time, and I picked him up. We was hanging out, and he was talking about, I'm going to barber college doing this, and he was telling me he was cutting hair. So I kind of told him, I was like, I'm kind of cutting hair too. I'm in the garage and
James, real quick, not to interrupt, just hold that thought. Yeah. James was so good naturally.
Yeah.
But he was also the one that was a rapper, so he'd be quick to tell you he was dope. So we couldn't really tell him he was dope because he'd be like, I'm dope. But we knew James was so talented, dude. Like he would just pick shit up.
Yeah.
And whereas all of us,
he was more mature than how we all were.
Dude. I was not natural. I sucked so bad. I remember bald face walking out dude, Shane just did that. That's the owner did that. No, on straight hair. Coarse hair, I'd be all right. Straight hair, I was fucking tripping. Go ahead, Jigga.
Funny story, So one of my, I was working.
Love you guys.
Cheers, y'all.
I love you, manito.
I'm working at Target. One of my coworkers tell me hey, go get a haircut by this guy named Marcus. So I go get a haircut by Q in Lakeview at Stuntastics. I got cut by him 2 or 3 times. My 4th time coming into the shop, I'm waiting for my turn to get cut. I'm chilling, and Q was like, "Yeah, man, I got this new barber coming in, bruh, and he's coming in. I hope he ain't late." Well, this dude was late, right?
Was that late? He was late.
Jeremy, when I met Jeremy, he was asleep on the bench in the barber closet with his arms inside of his apron, inside of his smock. And I was like, there's something about this kid I like. I can't figure it out. And then eventually he ended up working with me.
That's funny.
So Q was like, yeah, man, I hope this guy ain't late. Well, next thing you know, I see my cousin walking into the shop, and he's like, yeah, this is the new guy, bro. And I'm like, what? This is my cousin, man. This is my cousin right here. He told me he's been cutting hair. So from that day on, I started getting cut by Germs. Sorry, Q, I stopped fucking with you, but and then going to Germs, and every time I step in that shop, I was observing, and I looked at everything going on it, and I was like, "This is what I want to do," and I think that's what it comes with life. People got I know it's hard to find your niche and what you want to do, but I think I'm a big firm believer of doing what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't dread going to the shop. I don't have a hard time waking up. I wake up because I want to go to work. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people aren't happy with what they do, and I get it. It's hard to find what you want to do, but
I'm gonna get on my Tony Robbins.
but Germs definitely put me on game. Germs,
and all of a sudden,
and Germ was like hell of skittish, dude. Germ was so skittish. He was like a fucking hamster that a hamster that did a bump.
You always say that about Germs.
You know what I mean? He was hell of neurotic. He can't focus. He's fucking his attention deficit is non-existent. And the thing that's dope about Jeremy is that he listened to me. He eventually listened, and I was like, dude, you have to come work with me. I don't know why you have to come work with me. And I kind of knew inevitably that he was going to drive me the most insane because me and Jeremy were like hanging out. Like
I
Jeremy,
didn't mean to. Carlo drove you more insane. But...
well, yeah, Carlo drove me more insane because Carlo was, he was there. But so yeah, it's fucking just wild how shit works out. And like sitting, I vividly remember sitting there on Randolph, right next to those fucking green apartments to the right, and tripping like, damn, dude, like these dudes are really doing it over here. And then not knowing that none of them were licensed, and they were like getting fucking played. But they weren't because they were leading. You never know who's watching. And then I came in on the tail end of that, and then ultimately opened a shop in San Mateo.
Yeah, fast forward to the zoo.
Yeah.
Like, I think Jake just got there like not too long after me, maybe a week or 2 weeks. And then I just saw, and then I just saw, I was like, damn, like how better Jake got in such a short amount of time. Because of his consistency, and he was just always more mature than us. And I'll be like, damn, what the fuck? And even then, I'll be mad when we be hungover on Friday nights, get fucked up, and Jake will come in with a good ass attitude. I'm like, dude, why are you in such a good mood? Like, fuck this shit.
Dude, the only time,
like shit.
and I don't want to. I hate to bring this up, but this is part of like, bringing heat to the whole fucking podcast world or whatever. The only time I ever saw Jigga in disarray at work was when Eric passed away. Yeah. And when I walked in with my bike. I remember pulling my bike up because I rode my bike to work every day. And I pull my bike up and I push it in, and I saw a look on Jigga's face that was just not cool.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good.
And I was like, fucking, that shook us all because just moments before we were at Benihana's wilding out for our birthday.
Shout out to E-Cole.
E-Cole, rest in peace, E-Cole, man.
Rest in peace, Eric. We miss you, dude. Like, handle you guys one way or another when I left. I was like, nah, Jigga can handle this. He's the only one that can handle it. And hence the name SM Zookeeper. Like, he's never going to change that name. Whether the shop will last another 100 years just on its fucking foundation by default. But those are days that I'll never forget. And I remember when I was a fucking 19-year-old kid, convicted felon, trying to open a rap record store in Burlingame. And they're like, you dude, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you're going to sell graffiti shit?
A lot of people know about below the surface.
Yep.
Like
and then what's crazy is that no one knew when we opened the zoo that had anything to do with me. Like, I had nothing, like, my affiliation with the graffiti world and the rap world basically dissipated the second I became a licensed barber. And then what was wild is that, like, I believed in the fact that we could do something in San Mateo. Fuck, over 15 years later, dude, that shit's wild still. And, now we're in Belmont, which is even crazier. And I wouldn't change a thing, dude. Like, we learned a lot from each other. And
most definitely.
It's crazy.
How are we doing on time, buddy?
Like an hour 20.
Hour 20? All right, we could, this was good, dude.
Yeah.
So before we wrap this up.
It's all organic right here.
Yeah. Like, where do you see the barber world now? Because you traveled around the world.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that too. Where do you see this going? Where are we going?
I remember being like, in 6th grade, 5th grade, skating down the street, and then people were rolling by. I'd be like, you fucking faggot, fucking skater-ass faggot, skater-dog faggot, Yeah. And now I see those same J-Cats that are wearing Thrasher hoodies and Vans, right?
Yeah.
And what's keeping me sane as far as barbering goes right now, because I know how I feel about barbering, and that's irrelevant to this conversation, but it's obvious that I care a lot about barbering and where it's going. I'm just waiting for that exact same thing to blow up.
The game is changing, and I was like, I'm just trying to keep up.
But the thing is that you don't have to try because dude, just for clarity, I looked at these guys. Dude, I remember Biscuit. I talked to Biscuit on the phone yesterday.
Shout out to Biscuit. I looked up to this guy when I was in barber college. This guy had nasty hands.
Oh my God.
Hands.
No, you can't gas him up.
Yeah, you can't gas that look.
Can't gas him up. He's like a short stack. But I talked to Biscuit yesterday, and it's like I looked at Biscuit, and I looked at Carlo, and I looked at Jeremy, and I looked at Q, and I even looked at Ron. Like, as a point of reference to like how I wanted my cuts to look, and I figured out how I wanted to differentiate my shit from everybody else's shit, and not only the cut but like the customer service and stuff. And all I can see in 5 years or 10 years from now is us, and I can't see anything else. I don't think that's bad. I think it's just realistic. It's my team, it's your guys' teams, and nothing more, nothing less. I have been around the world. I've been to Spain, Japan, England, Mexico. I've been all over the place, and that's all because of cutting hair. Yeah. And I remember again, I got to bring Patty up one more time, because Patty used to doubt me super tough. She didn't know then, but she knows now that she doubted me. Like, you really think that people are going to pay you to cut hair in other parts of the world? And I'm like, dude, absolutely. Yeah. But not because of a haircut, just because of my knowledge, like because of what I know how to get people into my chair. Mm-hmm. And now she's like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, like my ex-wife's like cracking me for money because
that's where I'm at right now, trying to stay.
I only make $5 a class.
Like with Jules, when I was like, after that, I was like, damn, like all this time, I could have been, trying to get better. There's times I've been stagnant, or even now, sometimes I come in uninspired because I got hella other shit to worry about. Yeah, it's like, are these excuses, or or is it just trying to keep that same love?
Yeah. Remember when I was coming to work at like 6 a.m? I remember getting to work at 6 a.m. Jake was like, damn, Shig, how'd you get people here at 6 a.m? Do you remember that? Like tripping off me? Uh-huh. And like 6 a.m. now, I'm already 6 cuts deep. Yeah. I'm trying. I have to get away.
What time you start? 2, 3?
I've been starting every day. Like, I tried to get away from it for a minute, and then like
they want it.
Yeah, it's like So these clients get accustomed to like wanting to be like, they're in the shop alone. There's no like distractions, which is cool, and it's like a pretty.
Those are cool, yeah.
And they pay a lot more
when it's just like personal and just you and the client.
Yeah, and I have like going back to what I was talking about earlier. Like, I have like significant. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I have significant social anxiety now. It's not like
very anti after the shop.
Right.
Oh yeah, man. I drive home with no music on, just straight up. I just
you have to decompress.
Quiet. Yeah.
You get home to 2 little boys and your lady. Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
You gotta do that type of stuff.
It's wild. Like, I was explaining that to Juan on the way here. Like, there's a lot of things that I just came out of this doctor's appointment meeting, and I'm like, dude, like, to be able to decompress is something that I haven't been able to hold tangible in several years. Like, I don't have a moment to decompress. My alarm goes off at 12:30 to 1:30 in the morning every day, and then I'm in full swing until equal parts in the afternoon, and then 10 o'clock at night with the kids. Mm-hmm. So. It's just what it is. But this is the bed that I made. So the proverbial bed that I made, And you guys were the fucking, just so everybody around the world knows, like, these guys were the precursor to everything that I'm doing now. Like, a lot of cats they're under the impression that I just popped up out of the woodwork. But in all actuality, like, these dudes were the ones that like helped me build this shit. And
being at your white, you saw that. All right, gather the troops.
What's crazy is the whole white. Like, you're a little bitch.
Just been using that on you.
Oh, I gotta use it. It's funny.
I like it. I think it's funny.
You're Filipino, really.
The white jokes are so good.
Yeah. He's certified Filipino.
Yeah, you are.
Remember when that fucking
his wifey Filipino?
Loren's Filipino. Yeah. And it's funny because I remember being in barber college and TJ, that fucking bitch. TJ, whatever the fuck you are, you're a cat. Dude. I remember TJ be like, "Oh, white boy got hands though." And like, dude, the white jokes, like, dude, you're not even funny. Like, crack a cool white joke. Like, like the fucking suppression of the African American man and all this shit. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's all, but I mean,
suppression yourself.
Not with you, because it's.
But the dopest part about me that I'll go to my grave with is that I'll still outwork anybody. Like, if it comes down to it, if I have to, I'll pop a Norco and outwork you all day. You know what I mean? Like, whether you want it or not.
Yeah. You know what? I'm like, yo, if it was a competition, I'm like, who could last the longest? Cut fucking for how long?
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either.
I'm all 8 hours. I'm all, man.
Hey, dude, Shane did this fucking video on Thanksgiving, day before Thanksgiving, for like 3 hours, cutting hair. Mike Melamed, shout out Mike Melamed, shout out Fisheye.
Measy.
He had him he did a time lapse of this guy cutting 23 hours straight, man.
23 hours
These
straight.
guys are beasts, guys.
And that was natural. That was no cocaine. That wasn't even no
coffee,
no beer.
no caffeine.
No caffeine.
Okay,
Yeah.
shit.
But no beer, no nothing.
So we gotta wrap this up because I gotta take a piss. But
Yeah,
I
me
got
too,
this.
bro.
I was inspired by this other podcast from Candace Owens.
Who?
Candace Owens.
Okay.
She's very controversial too. But if you had 1 minute, if you had the whole world's attention, what would you say to him in 1 minute? Look into the camera.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Shane.
Me first?
Yeah. No, 1 minute.
Dude, thank you for listening to anything I had to say that was tangible. And fuck. Peyton and Parker, you got to take care of me one Okay, Jigga's turn.
Yeah, that's 10 seconds, right? You got 50
fuck. All
seconds
right.
still.
I looked at Jeremy, Q, Lolo, Biscuit, even Ron's fucking ass. For reference, you guys are a huge inspiration to me. Juan, Cedric, everybody at the shops, you guys got to hold it down. You know, it's all we got. And dude, I'm just super stoked to be here. This means a lot.
Thank you,
to me.
Shane. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to see you.
I love you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I love this kid to death. I've loved him so much. Like, I remember showing him how to use the MPC at his house and shit.
I still
like,
got it. It's fucked up. Jigga, let us know.
And B, shout out to B. Like, I remember showing B how to use the fucking 16
Shout out
levels
to
on the
Big
MPC.
Yeah.
I haven't made beats
the
in a long
Hawaiian
time.
Savage.
Remember that time when you guys were going at it? But that's for another segment.
Yeah.
With
But I love
Jigga,
it, dude. Brandon knows.
1 minute, you got the
1 minute,
whole
1 minute
world's
shit.
attention.
Okay, damn. Straight up.
You got the whole world's attention.
I already said this earlier, man. I'm a firm believer of doing what you love, and I'm here because of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with these guys. I wouldn't have met Shane if I never went to barber college. I didn't even know I was going to be a barber. You asked me when I was younger what I wanted to be. I would have told you I wanted to be an NBA player, which was not realistic, and I realized that. You know what I'm saying? And I just cut hair like in middle school, and I found my niche. And for everybody out there, just try to find that. I think that's what it is, man. Finding your niche, because you got to do what you love. You got to be happy. You got to have balance. And that's what I'm a believer of, it, having balance. Your family, life, work, kids, your wife. You got to put everything in and put as much energy as you can into those things, because we only have a short amount of period of time on this earth. Even though
make it go off.
Yeah, and
make a noise.
And if you tell me, if you ask me, would I do things differently when I was 21? Hell yeah, I would, because I would go even harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would do everything.
You would have been worried at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, I would have been at work at 6 in the morning if I didn't know, if it wasn't for Shane telling me that. You know what I'm saying? So follow and do what you love. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I could say, man. And I'm a firm believer of that. Shout out to my kids, Marlo and Kenzo. Shout out to my wife, Pizam.
I love you, Pam.
Hey, she
I know I'm
for us.
I'm gonna come have dinner with you guys. I owe you guys a lot.
And shout out to my zoo family, man. Those guys are what keep me going right now. You know what I'm saying? I go to the shop and I don't worry about nothing. Hey, Alex, I was just here partying the other night. But hey,
with
life.
With that said, shit, I gotta take a piss. What's
Me
your
too.
shit? Somebody, what's your shit?
Hey, my shit is
Listen to the new Nipsey Hussle mixtape.
Hey,
it's fucking crazy.
Hey, are you gonna play it or not?
Yeah, we're gonna play it.
Play the baby Shug. The baby Shug. That's my shit right now.
Jigga shit.
New Joel Ortiz and
Joel, I haven't heard of him in a minute.
No Joel Ortiz and Apollo Brown records.
Joel Ortiz, baby.
The baby Shug.
We gonna let it play. Out of Pocket Live, Shane, Jigga, the Billion, San Mateo Zoo, Shane's Barbershop. We out this bitch. This was good. I love y'all. We out.
I love you too.
Oh my God.
We all crabs in a barrel. Just chose to do my climbing in barbed wire ankles. I was winning half the battle. I'm from